Welcome to the fifth part of our journey through Germany's large landscapes. On our last flying visit to Germany, we got to know two very different federal states, Saxony-Anhalt and North Rhine-Westphalia, which nevertheless have a lot in common in terms of landscape, as they both fall within the large landscapes of the North German Lowlands and the Central Upland Ranges. Now we turn our attention to the central northwest of Germany, and thus the federal state of Lower Saxony, which lies to the north of North Rhine-Westphalia, Hesse and Thuringia. However, it also borders Saxony-Anhalt and Brandenburg in the east, Mecklenburg-Western Pomerania in the northeast, and Hamburg and Schleswig-Holstein in the north. The city-state of Bremen, which consists of the two major cities of Bremen and Bremerhaven, also forms an enclave on its territory. In addition to the 9 borders on German territory, there is also a border with some Dutch provinces, making Lower Saxony the state with the most neighboring countries. At around 47,700 square kilometers, it is the second largest federal state after Bavaria and has a population of just under 8.2 million. 548,000 of whom live in the state capital of Hanover. Lower Saxony was created after the Second World War through the unification of Braunschweig, Oldenburg and Schaumburg-Lippe. The country, which is bordered to the north by the North Sea and the Elbe, lies predominantly in the large landscape of the North German Lowlands, which is characterized by very flat landscapes with elevations of a maximum of 200 meters. Where sea and land meet on the North Sea coast, there is a habitat that is unique in the world. The Wadden Sea, where the sea resides twice a day to such an extent that the seabed, the mudflats, are exposed. This natural area is so special that UNESCO declared it a World Heritage Site in 2009. In Africa's savannas, big game hunters used to go hunting for the big five. In the mudflats, on the other hand, there are the small five: the lugworm, the cockle, the shore crab, the mud snail, and the North Sea shrimp. They are an important source of food for millions of migratory birds that visit the Wadden Sea every year to breed or rest. Seals, on the other hand, do not use the sandbanks to search for food, but to sunbathe. The 7 East Frisian islands of Borkum, Jüst, Norderney, Baltrum, Langeoog, speaker oak, and Wangerooge are located in the Wadden Sea. These islands, some of which are car-free, are popular vacation destinations for vacationers seeking peace and quiet, especially those from Switzerland, Austria, and the Netherlands. But of course, German vacationers also like to make a detour to one of the islands, which are also suitable for families with their dune landscapes and long sandy beaches. The healthy offshore climate can be enjoyed not only in one of the spas, but also simply on a walk along the beach. The island's salt marshes are constantly flooded by the sea, so only plants that can cope with the high salt content in the water and soil thrive here. To preserve the special flora and fauna, the Wadden Sea of Lower Saxony was designated a national park in 1986. On the mainland, man-made dikes protect the land from the forces of the North Sea, forming the boundary between mudflats and marshland. Marsh is the name given to the flat land behind the dikes, the bottom of which consists of sediment washed up by rivers. Drainage channels and pumping stations ensure that this fertile land can be used for agriculture. Cows and sheep dominate the landscape here, while one of the largest fruit-growing areas in Central Europe is located in the Altes Land region around Stade. Large parts of Lower Saxony were shaped by the last ice ages, such as the Saale Ice Age. The shifting of the ice masses and their subsequent melting have created a very special landscape, the Geest. This area, formed by moraines and outwash plains, i.e. deposits of material deposited by a glacier, and valley sand formations such as the Lüneburg Heath, has a flora and fauna influenced by the harsh coastal climate. Boggy lowlands and sometimes extensive raised bogs with barren soils nevertheless provide a rich food source for plants and animals adapted to the respective conditions. In wet areas, meadows are used for grazing, while in the south and east, where the Geest becomes drier and hillier, there are pine forests and heathland. Cereals, potatoes, and asparagus thrive in the fields. In the Wildeshauser Geest Nature Park and the Hümmling Nature Park, the Geest landscape with its alternation between forest, heath, moorland, and meadows can be experienced particularly well. Two large inland lakes, the Steinhuder Meer and the Dümmer, and large rivers such as the Ems, the Weser, and the Elbe flow through Lower Saxony before they flow into the North Sea. You can discover nature along their banks on long-distance cycle paths. The Ems flows through a flat landscape characterized by moors and is close to the Moor-Feenland Nature Park and the Hümling Nature Park. The Weser passes through 3 nature parks: Münden, Solling-Vogler, and Weserbergland, where the river has dug its way several hundred meters between wooded ridges. Other regions are flat and merge into marshland near the coast. The Elbe flows through the Elbe Glacial Valley, one of the valleys formed by the last ice age. And the Middle Elbe section is home to the Lower Saxony Elbe Valley Biosphere Reserve, one of the last near-natural river landscapes in Central Europe. Around Hanover, Hildesheim, and Braunschweig, at the transition from the lowlands to the Lower Saxony uplands and the Harz Mountains, there are particularly green areas, the Börden. Due to the loess deposits after the ice ages, the soil here is very fertile, which is why large areas are used for agriculture. However, the fields are crisscrossed by numerous tree-lined avenues, hills, and small forests. And old estates bear witness to the prosperity of agriculture. To the east of Braunschweig, in the Elm-Lappwald Nature Park, megalithic and burial mounds bear witness to Neolithic human settlement. And the largest high beech forest in northern Germany also grows in this region. The south of Lower Saxony is characterized by the Lower Saxon highlands and the Harz Mountains. Here, the first mountain ranges of the central upland mountain threshold dominate the landscape. Valleys, fields, meadows, and wooded elevations alternate. The large landscapes of the central upland ranges are characterized by forests, gently rounded, often also forested ridges and hilltops, and long valleys. The mountains of the central upland ranges are between 500 and 1,500 meters high. To the west are the Wiehengebirge and the Teutoburg Forest, whose geological development can be studied in the Terra Vita Nature and Geopark. The mountain ranges and valleys in the west are also often part of nature parks, such as the Weserbergland Nature Park, where rare Sündl beech trees grow. To the south, also located in the Weserbergland, are the Solling-Vogler Nature Park and Münden Nature Park, where the Weser has its source and on whose slopes you can find orchards. Finally, the Harz Mountains have significantly higher altitudes. At 971 meters, the Wurmberg, the highest mountain in Lower Saxony, is almost twice as high as the highest elevation in the mountain region called the Große Blöße. For centuries, mining was carried out in the Harz Mountains, which led to large-scale logging. Reforestation was carried out with fast-growing coniferous forest, but today the Harz is once again home to a great wealth of species. And with the establishment of the Harz National Park, which extends into Saxony-Anhalt, original vegetation has been protected and a new refuge for rare animals such as the lynx has been created. Lower Saxony's nature is diverse and exciting, as are cities with a long history, such as Goslar, Hanover, or Lüneburg, with buildings from a wide variety of eras, from Gothic buildings, Renaissance and Baroque, to half-timbered houses, brick buildings, and the Bauhaus. And the cuisine varies depending on the region, from crabs and fish on the North Sea coast to ham in Ammerland and cheese from the Harz Mountains. There is something for everyone. To conclude this part of our trip to Germany, let's take a look at Bremen, or more precisely, the Free Hanseatic city of Bremen, which consists of the two major cities of Bremen and Bremerhaven. They are 65 kilometers driving distance apart. As a city-state, it forms its own federal state in Germany and, with an area of 419.4 square kilometers, is the smallest federal state in the Republic. Approximately 683,000 inhabitants live in its territory, for which the Weser is of particular importance as a river that shapes the landscape. The small state is part of the large landscape of the North German Lowlands and has only a few large closed forest areas, which make up only 1.1% of its area. With a small proportion of the Neuenkirchener Heide, the largest forest area is located in the Bremen districts of Fage and Lüssum-Bockhorn, although a large part of it is not accessible to the public. In its long history, which began in 788 with the founding of the Diocese of Bremen as a market town, Bremen has repeatedly fought for its independence, and since its reconstitution in 1947, today even has a larger territory than, for example, at the time of the German Empire. Natural areas can be found along the rivers Wümme, Lesum, Ochtum, and Geeste, and some of the marsh meadows and oxbow lakes are protected. The marshland and Geest areas are used for agriculture, but also serve as recreational areas for the city's population. Bremerhaven is located on the western edge of the Elbe-Weser triangle, which merges into the North Sea, more precisely 67 kilometers north of Bremen on the eastern bank of the Weser. It was founded in 1827, and its ports were the #1 economic factor for a long time. Nowadays, Bremerhaven is no longer just a port, trade and industrial city, but also a service and knowledge city, as Bremerhaven University of Applied Sciences and several institutes and technology centers form a center of European cutting-edge technology in conjunction with Bremen's knowledge locations. Tourism also plays a role here, as you can visit the German Emigration Center, which was the starting point for a new life outside Europe for more than 7 million people. It is also the largest emigration experience museum in Europe, and you can almost slip into the role of an emigrant yourself during a visit. The Hohe Lied and the Beverstädter Moorgeest are part of the Wesermünder Geest, where most of the old town centers of today's Bremerhaven are located. The other natural area in Bremerhaven is the marshes, and in the Weser there are smaller mudflats that are a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Like Bremen, Bremerhaven is also located in the North German Lowlands. The highest elevations here are the dikes at up to 8.3 meters and a natural elevation of 11.1 meter above sea level in the Leerheide district. The only higher elevations are a man-made viewing hill at 25.5 meters and a landfill site at 28.5 meters. Pears, beans and bacon. Bremer rote Grütze, Labskaus and Knipp, or Bremer Zwieback. The region's specialties may sound strange, but they are certainly tasty. Thank you for watching. We wish you a wonderful time. See you next time.